Marites was a woman of strength and resilience. She hailed from the bustling streets of Manila, Philippines. Life had taught her to be tough, to face challenges head-on. From a young age, she dedicated herself to the art of arnis, a traditional Filipino martial art. This discipline instilled in her not just self-defense skills, but also a deep sense of discipline and respect. Marites dreamt of a better life, one where she could use her skills to help others. Like many Filipinos, she saw an opportunity in Israel, a land where her people were valued for their caregiving abilities. Leaving her homeland was not easy, but Marites was determined to build a brighter future. She found her calling as a caregiver for an elderly Israeli couple, Mr. and Mrs. Cohen, in the vibrant city of Tel Aviv. Marites' days were filled with tenderness and care. She tended to the Cohens' needs with unwavering dedication and a warmth that transcended cultural barriers. She learned their routines, their likes and dislikes, their stories. The Cohens in turn welcomed her into their home and their hearts. They saw in her not just a caregiver, but a daughter they never had. Little did Marites know that her martial arts training would one day be the key to saving the lives of those she had come to love. The Cohen family embraced Marites as one of their own. They saw her dedication and her kind heart. Mr. and Mrs. Cohen often remarked how lucky they were to have her. She was more than just a caregiver, she was a part of their family. Marites in turn found solace and companionship with the Cohens. She shared stories of her family back in the Philippines. She spoke of her dreams and aspirations. The Cohens listened patiently, offering words of encouragement and support. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Marites felt an immense sense of responsibility towards the Cohens. She vowed to protect them, just as they had welcomed her into their lives. Little did she know that her promise would soon be put to the ultimate test. The night of the attack began like any other. A gentle breeze rustled the curtains in the Cohens' apartment. The city lights twinkled outside, painting a serene picture. Marites had just tucked the elderly couple into bed and was preparing their evening tea. Suddenly a loud crash shattered the peaceful silence. Marites froze, her senses on high alert. The sound came from the front door. Her heart pounded in her chest. Fear pricked at her skin, but her training kicked in. She moved swiftly, her instincts taking over. Peeking cautiously from the kitchen door, she saw a stranger in the living room. He was tall and menacing, his face hidden in the shadows. He held a glinting knife in his hand, its blade reflecting the dim light. Marites' blood ran cold. This was no ordinary break-in. Adrenaline surged through her veins. She knew she had to act fast. The safety of the Cohens, her family, depended on her. Marites thought of Mr. and Mrs. Cohen, their frail bodies, their vulnerability. She knew she couldn't let this intruder harm them. Years of martial arts training had honed her reflexes, her mind sharp and alert. She grabbed a sturdy wooden chair, wielding it as a makeshift shield. Her voice, though laced with fear, resonated with authority as she shouted, "Get out! Leave this house now!" She had to buy time, to keep the intruder's attention away from the Cohens' bedroom. The intruder turned, startled by her sudden appearance and defiant stance. Marites seized the opportunity. She lunged forward, using the chair as a battering ram. The intruder, caught off guard, stumbled backward. Marites didn't hesitate. She pressed her advantage, her movements a blur of controlled aggression. She aimed for his weak points, memories of her arnis training flooding back. With a swift kick, she knocked the knife from his grasp. It clattered across the floor, skittering out of reach. The intruder, disarmed and disoriented, found himself facing a force he hadn't anticipated. The intruder, enraged by the unexpected resistance, charged at Marites. He was bigger and stronger, but Marites was quicker, more agile. She dodged his attack, using his momentum against him. She swept his legs out from under him, sending him crashing to the floor. The intruder struggled to regain his footing, but Marites was relentless. She pinned him down, her knee pressing firmly on his chest. He thrashed wildly, but she held him fast, her grip unwavering. As she held him captive, her mind raced. She had to get help. "Mr. Cohen! Mrs. Cohen!" she called out, her voice strained but clear. "Call the police, quickly!" The Cohens, awakened by the commotion, were terrified. They had heard the struggle, Marites' determined shouts. Shaking, they fumbled for the phone, their fingers trembling as they dialed the emergency number. Help was on its way. The wail of sirens soon pierced the night, growing louder with each passing second. Police cars screeched to a halt outside the Cohens' apartment building. Officers rushed in, their faces grim, their hands hovering near their holsters. They found Marites, still pinning the intruder to the ground, her chest heaving with exertion. The intruder, subdued and defeated, glared at her with a mixture of hatred and grudging respect. Relief washed over Marites as the police officers took control of the situation. They apprehended the intruder, his threats silenced by the cold steel of handcuffs. Marites, her adrenaline-fueled strength finally fading, felt her legs tremble. She sank into a nearby chair, her body shaking with exhaustion. The Cohens, their faces pale with shock, rushed to her side. "Marites! Marites! Are you all right?" Mr. Cohen asked, his voice trembling with concern. Mrs. Cohen, tears streaming down her wrinkled face, embraced Marites tightly. "You saved our lives, dear child, you saved our lives." News of Marites' bravery spread like wildfire through the Filipino community in Tel Aviv. She became a symbol of courage, a testament to the strength and resilience of Filipino caregivers. They had always known that their kababayans, their fellow countrymen, were hardworking and dedicated, but Marites' story took on a legendary status. Marites, thrust into the spotlight, remained humble. "I was just doing my duty," she told reporters, her voice soft but firm. "I made a promise to protect Mr. and Mrs. Cohen, and I would do it again in a heartbeat." Her story resonated far beyond the Filipino community. It touched the hearts of people across Israel and the Philippines. It was a reminder of the unbreakable bond between caregiver and those they care for, a testament to the extraordinary lengths ordinary people will go to protect those they love. Marites' story is not just about her bravery, but about the thousands of Filipino caregivers who leave their homes and families to care for strangers in foreign lands. They are the unsung heroes, the embodiment of compassion and selflessness. They are the living proof that even in the darkest of times, courage can bloom in the most unexpected places.